Gilbert Arenas addressed some of the declining NBA viewership and ratings this season, and this is what he had to say about why he thinks NBA viewership is down overall this season.
To watch games now, it used to be free.
You spending a lot.
You know how much League Pass costs?
League Pass, and you don't even get all the games.
You don't even get the games in your own city.
Yeah, you don't get the Laker game.
Yeah, you don't even get your own teams in your city's games on League Pass.
The reason that is
get you some cable.
No, that now makes you buy cable too. So you got to buy cable for your own teams, and then you got to buy League Pass to get the League Pass stuff.
Now, I'm not usually inclined to agree with Gilbert Arenas, but I actually think he's pretty spot on with this take. It is extremely hard to watch the NBA games that you want to watch on TV these days. You gotta buy this subscription, that subscription. The teams in your local area you might not be able to watch unless you have a specific subscription. It's kind of ridiculous at this point. And I know the NBA literally makes billions and billions of dollars with these NBA TV contracts, but it is very hard for the consumer to just go and watch a team they want to watch. Like, I shouldn't have to do extra research just to be able to find out if a certain game is on TV for myself. That's crazy, you know what I mean? It just creates that extra buffer that makes it harder for the consumer on the end to get what they want. And quite frankly, that's why those illegal streaming sites are so popular these days. I guarantee that if you took the numbers from those illegal streaming sites that everybody's using and you added that to the NBA numbers, the NBA viewership has not gone down overall at all. In fact, it's probably gone up. And then when you couple that with the social media views across all platforms, the game of basketball, the product and the popularity has increased tenfold. And you can even just see this by the amount of international players who have been added to our game now. Look at all the international superstars that we have in the NBA. That never would have happened if you didn't have an increase in people from around the world seeing the NBA product and wanting to play it for themselves and come to America to be NBA superstars. But on the other hand, if it is popular but people aren't paying and they're watching legal streams, you got a problem on your hand. And quite frankly, the NBA has gone through kind of an identity crisis in the last couple of years. I mean, since Steph Curry and the Splash Brothers came on the scene, now every team wants to chuck up 30 to 40 3-pointers per game. There isn't as much focus on a mid-range game. There isn't as much focus on paint play and physicality as much as there used to be. Even if you look at the average points per game scored on average in an NBA game throughout the season, in the year 2000, 2001, it was around 95 points per game on average throughout the NBA season that was being scored. And now if you look at the 2022, 2023, 2023, 2024 season, it's around 115 points per game. So there's definitely more of a focus on an offensive game, more fouls being called, more free throws overall. And in addition to that, there's just a lot more entitlement overall in the NBA. I mean, if you look back at the 2000s, there was no such thing as load management unless you were actually injured. And they didn't even call it load management. You were just injured, straight up, right? The contract sizes are a lot larger than they were back in the day as well, too. Even second tier, six-man players can get paid a hefty salary in today's NBA. Back then, if you were a six-man or you were a bench player or a secondary player, you were not getting paid $10-15 million per year. It just wasn't happening. And then just in general, when you talk about just the ticket prices, like the ticket prices to go to a game weren't nearly as much as they are now. And I think it's a bad deal now because you go to a game, you spend all this money, you don't even necessarily know if the players that you're paying to see are going to actually be playing because of load management, because of injury, because of this, because of that. So I think overall, even though the game itself is more popular in America and worldwide, fans are still getting kind of a raw deal because you can go to a game and the superstar that you're paying to see might not even be there. And then on top of that, again, I go back to the storylines. What is a storyline for the NBA season this year? In the past, in 2016, you had a great storyline when you had LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers going up against the Golden State Warriors. When you had Kevin Durant leave OKC to go to Golden State and everybody thought he was a bad guy, right? When LeBron left Cleveland the first time to go to Miami, that was a storyline in the NBA that everybody wanted to watch, everybody wanted to see. Right now, the NBA just doesn't have any dominant overarching storyline that compels people to want to watch or tune into certain games. I mean, the most compelling storyline recently was Klay Thompson returning to Golden State to face against Steph Curry, and that was a great game, great storyline. We need more stuff like that, but outside of that, we're not really seeing much. Biggest storylines that the media has that they're beating a dead horse with is just Bronny and LeBron James. Like, nobody cares about this stuff. Real basketball fans want to see NBA storylines. Now, we don't just want to hear about Bronny. But sound off in the comments below. I want to know what you guys think. Do you think that the NBA has a real problem on their hand with viewership moving forward? And I personally think that when LeBron James and when Steph Curry retire, retire, that's when the real problem is going to arise in the NBA, because you're going to have your 2 biggest stars of the last 2 decades be gone. So where does the NBA go from that point? Next up, we have